In this video, I will share how to make use of the SAS Data and AI Studio Step Access Control open source project that helps you to authorize which users can use which SAS steps inside of SAS Studio. So let's get right into it. All right, so here we are looking at the actual repository. This repository, of course, contains all the information that I'm also going to be walking through in written form. And crucially, there is also a changelog, because as new steps are being added to SAS Viya over time, then this repository will be updated accordingly. Now, I will be walking through it with the default configuration, which introduces custom groups into your environment. I will make a note of that when we get there, because you can overwrite those custom groups with your own Active Directory provided ones, for example. So let me get into it. This repository is best cloned into SAS Studio. As you can see here, I've already gone ahead and configured this, and you can see that it's a Git repository by having the little Git branching icon in here. And then it's just a raw cloned piece. Now, if you are making use of your own groups, I recommend you either fork it or you create a branch so all your changes are never overwritten by something accidentally. But if you are using the custom groups, then just feel free to pull every month as you update SAS Viya, so you create these rules accordingly. The first step will be for us to create the SAS groups for the steps. This is the piece that you can skip if you provide your own groups. Now, this consists of first a macro that does the actual group creation, and then there is a data step that calls this macro for each group that's being created. Each group starts with SAS DAI for SAS Data and AI Studio, and then has kind of a nomenclature on what it does. And of course, for easy reference, when you are looking at these in SAS Environment Manager, it also provides a description. So we can just go ahead and run this script, and it quickly ran through and created all these groups for me. Now, of course, I also provide an equivalent SAS program that does the reverse of this and just deletes all of these custom groups out of your environment cleanly without leaving any artifacts behind. So if you just want to try this out, these two are very crucial to create and then clean up after yourself. Now we have all of these groups created, so we can head over to Manage Environment, where we can see these new custom groups that have been created for us. And then if we search for SAS, and then we see them all in here, Data and AI Studio, all in a nice list. And if we click on them, we do see these nice speaking descriptions on what these actually do. Next up, these groups are just what we authorize. They don't actually authorize anything in and of themselves. So that is where the second creation script comes into play, and that is create SAS authorization rules for steps. Now, this here has a first step where you need to provide it the path to the CSV file that comes as part of the repository, which we're going to look at in a second here. And the important piece here is you can either store this on the SAS server, which I would recommend, because I would recommend you clone this repository. But if you prefer to store it in SAS content, just change this value to SAS content as described above, and then you can also make use of that. And if you want to change the name of the file, fine as well. Then just go ahead, copy the path where you clone the repository to, or where you stored it in SAS content, and enter this into here. And now we could already run the script, but as I said, let us take a look at this CSV file real quick. It comes with a bunch of columns. The first one always describes the step and the steps description. This is what you can see inside of SAS Studio as well, or if you go into the SAS documentation, you will find all of these steps. Then as we go to the right here, you can see now columns that are either filled with 1 or 0, declaring if a specific rule will be created for a corresponding group. Now, these groups are named in accordance with these columns are named in accordance with the custom groups that we created. But you can see here, it's quite extensive on what you can do. You can, of course, also remove some of these columns if you're not interested in them or not use them. And this then is reflected first that we ensure that we grab those specific steps and their IDs, because in SAS Viya, authorization rules are always applied to items in SAS content by their UID. And then at the end here, and this is where if you change the name of these groups, you have to go in and substitute your own group names in here. So let's say instead of the SAS Data and AI Studio None group, you want a group that says no SAS Data and AI Studio. I don't know. Then you just update the ID of the group in here, and then you can just run the script as is from the stage. And also you can always search for this change groups here string in the script to get to that specific place. Now, if we run this, this will take a moment to run because it's creating a lot of authorization rules in your environment, because we have a lot of steps in here and also a lot of groups that we are applying to. You get a bit of a summary of the information about all of these steps, and then we can look at the output tables that will kind of verify all the step access and rules that have been created in the background for us. And of course, we can also go in and we can delete all of these rules in here. Now, again, if you haven't changed anything, then you don't need to update anything. If you change the group names, again, here you need to update them accordingly. Also here we have the change groups here methodology. And now you can just add the users to the groups, which steps in SAS Data and AI Studio they should be allowed to be making use of, and thus easily manage things. I can see a lot of potential here to make sure that only advanced capabilities are unlocked when your people in your organization have taken certain courses or understand certain practices within your governance structure. For example, you might not want everybody creating machine learning models straight away. You might want to have them ensure that they have some base knowledge around machine learning, so you can only give them these steps if they have taken a course or read through a certain document, for example. With this, I hope this open source project is helpful in your day-to-day management of your SAS Viya environment, and do keep a lookout on this. Put it on your to-do list when you are updating your SAS Viya environment to check if there have been any updates to this repository, as new steps are released regularly. See you next time, and bye-bye.